what he's gonna say.
I know. I know.
Josephus. I would like to, but yeah.
Yeah, I have this whole like joke I was talking about Lane about. It's about how to fix the Islamic rape in Germany, and I don't think I'm gonna, I'm gonna be
Oh,
able to
that's
tell that on the.
yeah,
I was
probably
like,
not.
just just train up a bunch of lady boys and fly them over there to hold them down by their beards. All
I
right,
mean, you probably could do that.
all right, we're live.
We are live, and I'll probably have you talking to Casey for a minute while I get other things knocked out once he's back and ready to go. What have you been
All
up
right.
to though?
Aside from being in the hospital and
Oh
uh,
yeah, you did some stupid shit too, didn't you? So it's not just you, it's also and not just Lane, it's also you.
well, yeah, Lane got into an unfortunate. So I don't know if anybody was aware, but Lane was in the championship qualifier for zip tie cutting, and unfortunately got into a fight with a zip tie, and he lost the world championship.
Oh, but his knife is sharp. He just sharpened it too.
It looked like it when he sent me the fucking. He sent me the picture, and I was like, God, dude.
I saw him on
I thought,
Instagram and I'm like, what the hell did he do? I didn't even message him. I'm like, I'll talk to him tomorrow.
it was really funny. It was like Lane was he sent me the pictures, and I was like, "Is that 7 stitches?" He was like, "No, 6." And I was like, "Oh, how ironic! You have the same amount of stitches in your finger that I gave Holdren in his eye."
I mean, that's kind
But
of what happens, right?
yeah, so it looks like it's freezing on for some reason
What do you
on
mean?
the video. I'm watching it on the iPad.
I
It looks
might
frozen.
be having lag. It's running off of Wi-Fi right now until I run a longer Ethernet cable.
Okay, because yeah, it was just frozen for like the whole last little while.
I
It's frozen
mean,
again.
was it? Is it going in and out? It's bit rate. It's dropping bit rate. It looks like.
Yeah, it's frozen.
Okay, so we'll get that taken care of. Hopefully, as
Like
soon as I
now
can.
or like in the future.
Well, I'm trying to do it right now,
Oh, okay,
as
cool.
soon as
Well,
I
anyway,
can. It's one of those things, you know.
yeah, I understand.
Just
Yeah,
working on.
so yeah, I was it was kind of funny, dude. Like, so how the whole thing happened with the shoulder. So I'm as everybody knows that knows me and probably has that's been watching the podcast. My shoulder, if you give it the wrong look, it might fall out. But it usually goes right back in. So I'm at my show. I'm playing. I've been playing for like a couple hours, different times, and then there's like the whole place is packed. We're at like the last 45 minutes of the show. We're going over time, and I'm talking to my friend Dylan. This girl is a flute player and a flautist,
A
and
flautist?
yes, that's the technical term for it.
Yes.
Jano will tell you.
Well, I mean,
Um,
every time I hear flautist, I think something else.
skin flout.
There's that, but I also think fallopian tube artist, a flautist.
And so I'm just talking to her, man, and I just moved my arm like too fast in the wrong direction, and I was sitting down and I hit the armrest on the chair and it popped my shoulder out, right? And so Dylan, she's just sitting there and she looks at me and she's like, "Oh my god," and I'm like, "Yeah, it's okay, don't worry." And I just stand up with my shoulder just like hanging out of socket, and I'm like, I'll be all right. I'll be fine." And there's like 50 people in this place,
Have
so
you
I
not
go
learned how to
over.
relocate it yourself?
I have, but sometimes it just depends on what type of dislocation it is.
Mm.
This one specifically, there's like a number of them that can happen, but this one actually is the worst, where it dislocates downward
Oh, fun.
as opposed to forward or backward. So I went into the bathroom to try to relocate it. Also took a shit while I was in there because I needed to. And then I was like, everybody's knocking on the door, and they're like, "Cam, are you okay? What can we do?" And everybody's drunk. Everybody's drunk. Like, it was hilarious. So I come out, right,
Yeah.
and my shoulder's still fucked, and I'm like, okay, just give me a few minutes. I'll do some breathing exercises. You should go back in. And then my other friend, another Dylan, strong guy, he's like, "I can probably get it back in." And I'm like, "Okay." And he was like, "Take your shirt off." So my fat ass is standing
If I
in the
hook it
front of
up to
this
my
bar
laptop, yeah.
with no shirt on, and
Yeah, because
this
it's better to
big
pop.
muscly dude is like trying to snap my shoulder back into place, and I'm just like, ah, you know, sounding like Arnie, "Get in the chopper," ah, ah. And I'm like, I just look at the other Dylan and I'm like, call Adele. And she's like, what do you want me to do? And I was like, whatever the fuck she says, I don't care. I don't know. Just get me to a hospital. So they're like, okay, no problem. And so the owner of the owner of the bar, he like flags down a tuk-tuk, and that's like a taxi cab out here, basically, for those who aren't familiar. And we jump in this thing and we tell him to go to Lake Tahoe Hospital, which is like one of the main hospitals. This guy drives us, and as soon as he starts driving, I'm like, he's not going the right direction. And my buddy Alex is in the tuk-tuk with me, freaking out, and he doesn't know what to do, so he's just like cracking jokes and trying to be funny, which was nice. This guy drives us all the way in the opposite direction, like 15 minutes in the wrong direction, to this fucking dingy clinic. And we show up to this clinic, and I look at it, and my buddy looks at me, and he's like, "Oh, mate, you're not going in there, no." And I was like, "Yeah, okay." So they turn around, they bring me back to another hospital that happens to be on this place called Pub Street, right? Now, Pub Street, to give you an example of what Pub Street is like, it's like Tahoe in 2001 on New Year's Eve, like all the time. It's just absolute debauchery, drunkards, fucking people fighting, like just ridiculousness. So I imagine the scene. I walk in with a drunk 6'5" English guy with a giant beard with a beer in his hand. I have no shirt on and no flip flops, and I'm wearing shorts, and my shoulders hanging out of socket. I walk up to the front of the front desk, right? And the guy literally looks at me, and he's like, what's the problem? And I was like, and I just looked at my shoulder, and I was like, it would appear to be a dislocation of the humerus proximal anterior. And he was like, oh, okay. Well, no, don't worry. We'll admit you for the night. And I'm like, what do you mean you'll admit me for the night? They're like, we have a spot on the floor for you. You can sleep on the floor. And I'm like, what? No. Like, what are you talking about? He's like, well, the shoulder specialist isn't here, so we'll have to wait until tomorrow. And I was like, my shoulder is dislocated, man. I didn't come here to sleep. I came here to get it fixed, you know?
Why don't you just smash it on the corner of a wall?
I tried.
Oh.
The old school Lethal Weapon style.
Yeah.
I tried.
Oh, come on, Riggs.
I tried. Did not work. And
well, maybe you just didn't do it right.
And so it did not work. And I'm like, you know what? Let's just go somewhere else, whatever. And the guy's like, no, okay. And then they're like, have you been in a fight? I'm like, no. And they're like, are you sure? I'm like, yes, I'm sure. Have you been in an accident? No. Okay. And they're like, are you sure you haven't been in an accident? It's like, no, I've not been in an accident. Like I dislocated it while I was talking to my friend. And they're like, that doesn't make any sense. And I'm like, okay. So they take a picture of me. They're like, and then they go next door to the police station. And they ask the police, is this guy wanted by the police? For one time in my life, I am actually not wanted by the police, which is a good thing. So finally, the only reason Adele was able to find me was because they took us to the wrong hospital. Alex had no phone. And so I had the iPad on me, but they wouldn't give me the Wi-Fi password. So Adele is fucking smart. So what she did is she did the Find My iPad function. And so it started beeping, and I was like, what the fuck is that noise? And and like turned it off. And so then she GPS located me and then came in, and then they were able to treat me. And dude, I was in there for 3 hours with my shoulder just hanging out of socket. And my buddy's like, do you want me to go get you a sneaky beer? I'm like, no, dude, they won't treat me. Like, yes, I want that, but no, you know. But I get in there, dude, and when I get into the hospital room, right, into the surgery, they bring me into the surgery first off, and I'm like, wait, am I having surgery? And they're like, we don't know yet. I'm like, oh, that's real comforting. Are you really? What do you mean you don't know yet? They're like, we don't know yet. We're gonna have to put you under. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. Okay, so we go into the place, and for whatever reason, the nurse's assistant thought, and I don't know if these people are just all blind, but they thought my left shoulder was dislocated, not my right shoulder. So they grabbed me by my right shoulder to put me into the bed. And I'm like, don't do that again. So Adele's sitting in the hallway, and all she hears is just me screaming at these people.
So what you're saying is you just scream like a girl out loud every time you get hurt and somebody moves you.
Yeah, well, yeah. If you ever had a dislocation of the humerus proximal, I think you'd probably do the same.
Nah, I've dislocated my shoulder once, and then I've never had that issue again.
Yeah.
Mind you, that wasn't my fault.
Grabs you by it and tries to move your whole body with it. Turns out it's not a fun experience.
Yeah, I was a kid when it happened. My donor did it.
Your what?
My donor.
Your donor?
Yes, my donor. Yeah, Schmeg, my donor. He donated the seed of life to my mother and then fucked off everything else.
Oh, I never. Okay, okay. Now that makes sense. No wonder you're all fucked up.
Thank you.
But yeah, so they eventually. What's funny is they eventually put it. They got it back. So the guy's like, he puts the thing on my nose, and I'm laying there, and he's like, okay, just breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, and I'm like, just what's going on? And they're like, we're gonna have to put you under. I'm like, okay. So I like keep doing it. I just keep breathing. He's like, okay, close your eyes. I keep doing it. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. And then I open my eyes, and there's nobody fucking there. And I'm like, where the fuck did what? And then I looked down, and my shoulder was in. And I was like, oh, wow, these guys are actually really good. Like, I didn't even know. There was no time in between. And then, like, 3 days later, I'm sitting out front at this place called Mr. Lies. We call it Mr. Lies.
I do have one question before that.
Yeah.
How much did it cost you?
$300.
American?
Yep.
That's not terrible.
Oh.
No, the last time I had the same exact thing happen in America, it was $4,800.
Yeah, I figured because my son, when he got his eye busted open, it's costing me $1,200.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, the level of care, the shoulder specialist here was far better than the one in San Luis Obispo. I don't know if the guy in San Luis Obispo was like sick on shoulder day or something when he was in school to be a doctor, but that guy had zero idea what he was doing, dude. He fucked my shoulder up so much more than it was before. It was ridiculous.
I mean,
but this guy was great, man, and it turned out being my neighbor. I didn't even recognize him.
So you could just walk over there now. Say, hey, I fucked this up. Fix it.
Exactly.
Yeah, free healthcare now.
I got booze for you. Here, it's our sponsor.
Oh yeah. By the way, our sponsor for the day is still Gansberg.
Gainsberg. No, it's
Gansberg.
Gainsberg.
It's German beer made with tiny.
I do have a question for you still.
Yep.
Why is your face still so dark? I thought you were picking up a light or something. What happened?
Oh, I forgot the light in the other room.
That's the excuse we're using. That's always the excuse we're using.
No, I'll just go get it.
Some people's children.
Some people's children, man. Every time. Never fails.
Also, people don't really like my face. So
I mean, yes, but I mean, we're not going to know until they tell us to put him back to dark. We like it when he sounds like he's hiding from somebody.
True.
Like what is it? The Taiwan government?
Thailand.
Thailand. I was close. Tijuana.
Yeah. Well, Tijuana, luckily, I don't have to hide from anything. I'm pretty good friends with the cartel, so.
Yeah, let's not post that everywhere. Good job.
Oh no, that's the government down there. You know what I mean? Like that's.
I mean, I guess for now.
So speaking of government, holy hell, man, this has been quite the week, hasn't it?
So far, yeah. Watching that back and forth, like a father scolding a child, is what I would say that was like. It was kind of entertaining, but at the same time, you're just like.
Just to talk about Zelensky and Vance.
Zelensky, Vance, and Trump just.
It was really like two brothers arguing in front of dad. If you're being honest.
Yeah, kind of. It kind of was. Yeah. I mean, it was interesting because it was just like if you just take all, it's like, so for one, I'm politically neutral. I don't give a shit. I really don't. But if you just take all the politics out of it and you watch the body language and what Zelensky is trying to do, where he's just constantly moving into Donald Trump's personal space, like he just keeps getting closer and closer and closer. It's like, it's just like childish shit to do. You know, it's like, what do you think you're going to intimidate him by like that? It's not going to.
Well, that's how it works in all the TV shows that he did.
Right. He's playing TV. He's an actor.
Well, I mean, I can tell you, even though I'm like not political, I was at a point a high level corporate officer. I was a chief operating officer of a movie theater corporation, and the way that they were operating was essentially really bad body language going on. It was pretty obvious there was never going to be a deal happening there at all.
What Christian commented was, that was an excellent political theater. That's what he said. For sure.
No, absolutely. I mean, to watch it is it's entertaining as hell. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I've never seen anything like what's really interesting about this time in our lives right now is I don't know if you what you guys think, but like me personally, I have never in my entire life seen like so much change happen with uh, change in administration this fast. It's like insane. It's like a fucking. It's almost like a train running into a wall. I don't really know where. I don't know. It's like off the rails. I don't know if it's good or bad. I have no idea. But it's just interesting because every single other president we've had in my lifetime, in my opinion, has basically just carried on the same shit and changed minimal things. But this is like full on. You know, like everything's changing. You know, what do you
Well,
guys
I
think?
mean, you see, like when the Republicans take over from the Democrats, you see a slight change. But you're right; it is very drastic. We went from a very like lame Democratic Party, and then all of a sudden Trump got in there, and he was like, "Let's crank this bitch up to 11."
Time to stir
Yeah.
that pot and see what happens.
He's like, "Let's
Yeah, I mean,
chug a Red Bull, get some wings, and fucking spread America everywhere. Let's go."
yeah, I mean, it's definitely it's fucking pretty crazy to watch. I mean, no matter whether it's good or bad, it's definitely like what also is interesting to me is the very large difference between his first time in office, like his first time as president,
Yeah.
and then this, because like the last time it kind of seemed like he wanted to go in there and change everything, but he didn't really know
Well,
how.
the thing is,
And
it's not that. Part of it was like he has to follow the Republican Party a bit. That way he can get elected a second time. All the work comes in on your second term anyway. So this is where it's like, all right, I'm never going to get elected again. Might as well go for it, right?
I mean,
yeah, that makes sense.
kind of. I mean, when when you first get in office, right? You have to appease the people that got you there,
Right.
right? So the first year is kind of just paying off your favors and kind of doing the things you said you were going to do if you can, and then making it look like you're doing the things you want to do. But then, yeah, you're going to spend the next 2 years after that focusing on reelection. Like, some stuff's going to come in between, but you're pretty much focused on reelection. Once you get to term number 2, like you have to remember, this is pretty much the last job you're ever going to have. Like once you're president and you're done, you can't really do anything afterwards.
Yeah,
like,
there's nothing
you-
bigger really. Than
Well,
being-
but you get pretty locked down. You if you're getting national like homeland directives, you can't just like fly to Hawaii
And-
without a whole guard. You can't just go to a coffee shop. Like you are tied down to the Secret Service for the remainder of your life.
Aren't,
Like that's why Bush Senior or Bush Jr. lives on a 100-acre farm. He can't drive a car anywhere. He just lives there now. Like he lives on a compound.
I'm not gonna
That's
lie.
where he is.
I'd probably do the same thing. That way I could do donuts in the yard and still drive a car.
I mean, it's not a terrible life. Don't get me wrong, but you just have to remember like the things you think about. Like once Trump is done, like after these 4 years, I promise you, he will pretty much disappear.
yeah.
Like he won't do it. He won't be able to do anything else. Like there are still rules he will have to abide by
They still
as
get
being a
information, right?
former president of the United States.
They still get some information, right?
Yeah,
So-
I mean,
so
you can,
Even though they just put
but
didn't-
remember
what?
Trump revoked Biden's.
That's what I
Yeah,
saw.
he revoked his National Security Directorate thing, so he doesn't get briefs anymore.
Yeah, I was curious about that because I saw that. I'm like, what's that mean? Is Trump really doing this? What were you-
So Janot, by the way, said the first term there are a lot of insiders mitigating his impulses. He's cleared his deck. He also knows better now how much he can get away with. Yeah, that's a good point. It's true. Yeah,
Well-
I mean,
well,
he
not
basically
just that.
cleared the deck. Yeah.
But he talked about it when he did the Joe Rogan thing. He talked about how the first term he listened to some people who, were in his corner, and they were like,
supposedly.
these are the things you should do. Like, these are the people you should hire. And he kind of went off what they said and kind of was like, oh, these people are shit at their jobs. Like, what are we doing? This time, he's like, I don't actually have to listen to you. I can hire whoever the fuck I want. Like, he doesn't care. He's like, yeah, cool. And I think there's no pressure now, right? Like, you don't have to worry about getting reelected, Just,
Don't-
Yeah,
just,
well, I mean,
just
I think
push the envelope as far as you think you can before Elon gets you fired. Like that's your goal at this point.
I think
you know,
the only issue is like worrying about impeachment. That's about the only thing he has to worry
that
about.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like push
but he
the
doesn't
envelope.
really have to worry about that. The
Oh
problem
yes,
is
he does, 100%.
not really. I mean, the thing is, he's got a Republican majority, and the thing is, like, I don't see that happening because he's got the only thing that I think he has to worry about is it's quite obvious that the next person that's going to be running for president is going to be JD Vance.
Well, Lane has a
So-
theory, and the theory
Yeah.
is 51-49. Elon gets Trump evicted, essentially. Impeached. There
I
we go.
mean, well, I mean, it's possible. I would probably side with Lane on that, but also I think that one of the things that he has to keep in mind is again that JD Vance, he obviously wants to continue as the next president, so he can continue to. Christian said this in the chat, is that Trump is going to want to continue to have influence in Washington, and the best way he can do that is by getting his vice president to become the next president. I mean, his last vice president was a fucking wuss, bro. His last that guy was a puppet idiot
Fair
moron.
enough.
Yeah.
But
No, I think
Vance
JD Vance
Vance
will,
is
he'll
another
he'll
thing, dude.
definitely run, and I think he's smart enough to get there. But I guarantee that if things go south, he'll know how to remove himself enough to stay within the Republican Party, but not be attached to Trump too much.
You know, it's interesting. It's almost as if I mean, bear with me here, but it's almost as if Trump has inadvertently, or maybe maybe he did it on purpose. He's almost created a completely different political party. If you really think about it, he doesn't really stick to the Republican Party at all. I mean, I guess fiscally he does, but for the most part, it's very much like a third party. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but I don't feel like it's gonna last that much longer. Like after his term, there's not gonna be. It's not gonna continue.
Well, the landscape will change.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, I mean, remember, all the old timey dudes are leaving, or
Dying.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, they're 40-year senators and House representatives that are not going to be there anymore. Like the landscape is going to change. The guys who are so ingrained in their right or left ways are going to kind of disappear, and you're going to start to see more like fluid people in the party. You're going to see people who are Democratic, but they're going to come out with like partial Republican ways. And I think the two-party system will start to sort of fizzle a little bit. It's not going to completely go away because you need that.
I think it almost happened when Ross Perot was running. And
Yeah,
I don't
kind
know
of.
I don't know who they threatened or whatever to get him out, but he was actually, there was a good shot that Ross Perot was going to be president, and that was like the first time we'd kind of ever seen anything like that in our lifetime. And so I mean, it kind of already has happened a bit, but I mean, this is definitely like, I don't view Donald Trump as a traditional Republican or conservative. I think he's very, very different. And one thing that's interesting too is that I guess it's a very, like Christian was saying, political theater wise, it's very interesting to watch because he's not your typical like he's running the government like a business. And that's what a government actually is anyway.
It should be.
So
No, I mean he's legitimately running it like an episode of The Apprentice.
Yeah, for sure.
This is season whatever continuation of The Apprentice.
You're fired.
Yeah, he might as well have just told Zelensky, "You fired." Okay,
you're fired.
You fired. Yeah. Hey, why don't you walk away? You fired. Okay, you're done.
I was actually, I will say I watched that thing back again at that whole meeting, and I was actually quite impressed with Donald Trump's restraint. Like I know a lot of people said was like really, but you can see
it wasn't
him,
that bad. Like I
you
didn't
could
think
see
he.
him just like restraining himself, man. Like he was like holding back hard because he just wanted to fucking rip that guy apart, dude. You could see it.
Well, there was like all kinds of. I don't even know if half of it's real at this point until I actually do research. But they were saying that he's embezzling money, all kinds of things.
No.
Zelensky, that's the one. Yeah. and like his
No,
wife.
I think I think, you know, like really what it boils down to is they want more help, right?
Mhm.
That, like, you know, he's come to us to ask for more help, and at some point, you know, you have to be like, how much more help do you need? Like,
Well, I mean,
what
also,
do you guys fighting? Like, are we trying to take Russia now? Because again, if anyone's marching into Moscow, it's not going to be them. It's going to be us. Like, no one's
sure.
stealing
it'll be
that thunder from us. Like,
yeah.
So-
No, and that's true, man, and that's a very good point, Casey.
Real America
And
blasting.
but like, here's the thing:
But-
is like, if you're gonna come to us, right? Here's my problem, right? If you come to us and you're like, we need 120 more F-16s, right? That's not like getting a couch from your neighbor down the street. Like, who's going to come get the 120 F-16s? Or is this like, now you want us to fly them to you? Okay, cool.
And now we got to train
And then,
your guys.
yeah, are
and-
we training your guys? Are we dropping off support staff? Like, at some point when you're asking for so much help, are we just fighting your battle for you? And where are the other guys who are, you know, your real neighbors, where it's easier to get bullets
Wait, we have-
and stuff from the other guys, you know,
They're
right next
next
door? Yeah.
Yeah.
We're across the ocean. What do you really want from us, and how much more do we have to give you? And I think that, you know, they kind of stood their ground on that.
Amazon
does
delivered.
does that mean that we're not gonna, like, you know, at 3:00 in the morning C-130 airdrop bullets and rockets and stuff? No, we're gonna keep doing that. But we need to give a face like we're not going to do that, and I think they did that pretty well. I think they sat there and they tried to talk and have a civilized conversation, and when it didn't go his way, it was like, okay.
What are
I
you
think-
listening to?
Yeah, why is there music in the background?
I'm not listening to anything, man. That's a fucking temple in the distance.
Oh,
Oh.
It's a thing about living in Cambodia that you have to just fucking live with.
I was
Wait,
like, Chinese
unfortunately.
New Year was 2 weeks ago, man. How are they still partying?
You got a closet, right?
Dude, one thing about Cambodians, bro. By the way, welcome to the chat, William. I don't know if we've
He's
ever
in the
met you
he's in the
before.
room with us.
Oh, he is.
Yeah, he was one of the old cast members that pops in every once in a while.
Willie
Oh,
Doo's
sweet.
Mobile Cigar Lounge,
That's
owner and
right.
operator.
Right on. Well, hi, William. Pleasure to almost meet you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, the thing about Cambodia, by the way, is just these people are party people, dude. It's one of the reasons I live here. I'm an event producer and a fucking DJ and all that stuff, right? So it's the perfect place to live because literally every single fucking day they have, like, their weddings here. They go on for 4 days.
Nice.
So it's like, and when I say like they go on for 4 days, I'm not talking about like your typical wedding. We're talking about like a wall of 60,000 watts of sound for 4 days,
Oh,
and they literally go until the last person falls down.
Nice.
So yeah, it's you know, and when you think about what happened from 1974 to 1979 with the whole Pol Pot thing, it's like, well, they obviously deserved a party. 1/3 of their entire population was killed in execution style. It was awful, right? So, you know, they deserve to be able to party whenever they want. And it's funny to see like a bunch of like they call us barang here, and that means foreigner. Same like gaijin in Japan, or farang in Thai, or gringo in Mexico, or haole in Hawaii. It's all basically racist against white people. But there's the barang here actually is not racist. It's more, they just identify us as white people. But in the other countries, it's all very much racist. But yeah, I mean, they it's really interesting to live in a country that has been through so much, especially considering the political environment that we're in right now, that was so war torn, and all these people are so happy, and they all have these beautiful like every time I go down the road, like drive my bike, fucking walk down the street, all the little kids, they always are like hello, and they all wave at me and stuff, and like it's a beautiful country, man. It's very interesting to see. Actually, I want Jeannot to come over here at some point and help dig up some of their classical music, because I'm sure there's plenty of it. And because he has this Jeannot has this company called Editions Violone. Plug for you, Jeannot. Where he digs up these impossible to find classical works and he reinvents them, makes and does manuscripts of them so that they can be accessible, and he keeps the past alive. It's an amazing thing.
That
Anyway.
is pretty amazing.
Yeah, you should see some of the stuff his editions are impressive, man. Aside from the fact that it's impressive that he finds these works, on top of that, it's like the actual editions themselves are like beautiful. I want one, and I don't even know how to play. So, but yeah, so what do we got here? What's going on in the chat?
Yeah, there's some good chatter in the chat.
Well, now that we've taken our Cambodian detour, we're back at it.
Hey guys, back in business. Here we are again.
Thanks for driving us through the countryside.
All
Come
right,
back.
so it looks like Janot is talking about. Say that. What's that?
Kiev. Yes, Kiev.
Yes.
Kiev.
He's talking about Kiev.
Yeah, Kiev.
There's a Russian guy saying my name. Kiev.
Probably, yeah.
Just got to remember that. Wants the Buddhist pest.
Memorandum.
I was gonna read that. I got it. I'm slowly reading. Enforced. Thank you. Enforced. However, you're right. Europe needs to step up. And then Will's like, I think we need to deal with Russia and split the resources and get blah, 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 blah.
Why are we dealing with the Russians?
Well, I mean, I think we're one of the things that's always going to happen is we have to deal with the Russians, man. It's beyond that.
It's not that.
It's not that. It's that Will says we should get a deal for Russia to get half the resources. What I think Will just did was initiate that we've signed with the Russians to take back Ukraine for the USSR. I think that's what you just tried to implement.
Okay. I get
And Ukraine just gets a little taste.
I was like, I think the Ukrainian people would have a problem with that, sir, but okay.
Well, I mean, the main problem that's there that I see, as far as I'm no political scientist, man, but the main problem that I see is essentially if NATO, if Ukraine joins NATO, then if Russia, then it immediately becomes that Russia is attacking NATO, which means that immediately we have to be at war. We have no choice.
No, I mean like,
we can't do that.
Yes, Ukraine is preventing war with NATO. Like that's what they're doing. But again, this is one of those times where, like, I understand that we need to help. I'm all for it. Drop bullets, give them rockets, whatever. But again, there are just other countries right next door who really need to worry about it that could also truck over bullets and fuel and stuff.
That's the thing, is that they're just not like, it's like, why are we putting so much into it?
Well, we've always footed the bill, and we've allowed it for so long, and then like we didn't do it for 4 years, and then 4 years again we're now doing it, and then now we're back to, hey, we're not footing the bill anymore, and we shouldn't have to foot the bill.
Have you guys ever met like an actual trust fund baby, like a real one?
A few.
Yeah.
So because the things I've messed with around, I've met a lot of trust fund kids, man. And there's like a point where it's like, the way I see this is that basically daddy's saying, yep, we're not paying for your fucking, your massive fucking penthouse in fucking Dubai anymore. You got to pay for it yourself. Like that's what it seems like to me.
Well, we're not that drastic. Like, again, it seems like we are. Like, it seems like we're saying that, but what we're really saying is like, hey,
you need to step up, be a president, and do something.
Don't party every weekend on your trust fund. Maybe invest a little bit of it with your friends. You don't have to take everyone out for tomahawk steaks.
Trust fund babies don't have belly buttons.
But those.
Fuck. What does that even mean?
I have no idea. But we're going to fund a lot of it because we can.
Yeah.
Like, remember, defense spending in our country is what, more than 24 other nations combined?
26.
Yeah, 24 of them are allies.
Yes.
So I get we have what they need.
Why is Lane not in the chat?
He's probably resting,
asleep.
Man.
When he left here, he was a little under the weather. That cigar did him in today.
Yeah, he was saying that the tetanus shot or something was fucking him up pretty
Yeah,
bad.
the mixture between the two, it
And,
wasn't working for him.
I hope he's
But
resting.
you know, Lane's
Same.
a hard guy to knock down too. So that's pretty
Yeah,
impressive.
that says a lot.
Whatever is happening.
I'm sure next week we'll get a lecture about how wrong we were.
I can tell you what it was.
I welcome the education.
Somebody tried to introduce nanobots in him, and it just started messing with the wiring.
It's the Borg. You know,
The
Oh, by the way,
Borg.
Kevin, can you cut the camera to me?
Yeah.
We have another sponsor today.
Oh yeah, who's our sponsor today, other than Janelle?
Hunman?
Hanuman beer. Hanuman beer.
What?
Actual Cambodian
Give it a
beer,
second.
Cambodian lager made with tiny Cambodian hands.
Oh, I
and
thought
it's
this
an
was
upgrade.
going to be Cambodian beer made by tiny German hands.
That would be hilarious.
That was better. Or made by Trump's tiny hands. But but yeah. Oh, by the way, I do actually. So I will be speaking with the regional director for the area, and also talking direct with Tiger Beer. You guys have Tiger Beer in the States, right?
We have Tiger Bomb.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know if that's.
Yeah, are we allowed to drink that? I don't think we were.
I mean, I think you guys have Tiger Beer. So I just need to find out if Tiger Beer is distributed in the United States. Because I already got sponsored for our next event, which is Graham Gold. The one we're bringing out Graham Gold to play here.
Well, you'll have enough of it to drink.
Well, I mean, that too, but no, I mean, literally, then I'm gonna angle for sponsorship for the podcast for it. So,
I mean, if we get there, that'd be great.
I'm pretty sure we'll get there, man. I already got them to sponsor me for this next event, so they're already throwing money at me anday.
Nice.
So I think we need to sponsor, man. I mean, like, not because we need money, like it's like just because I think you guys have put. This is 104 episodes. You guys have put in a hell of a lot of work.
It's actually more than that, but like live, it's 104 for sure.
Yeah.
You know, you guys need to. I want to pull my weight here. You know, so.
Fair enough. We're all trying to pull our weight. Sometimes we think we need to put in a little bit more, and sometimes it's like, you're doing enough. Like me, I'm always trying to do things.
Juno just said you're comparing war with an invading country in violation of an international agreements with luxury living. Yes, that is true. I am doing that.
We had to break it down Barney style for Cameron. What else would you like us to use? I'm open to suggestions, you know.
I did see one other thing that I was curious about. We know what the green card is. There's a gold card now, and apparently you pay $5 million and you could be a U.S. citizen.
That's cheap,
right? And I'm just like, that could go wrong in a lot of ways if the wrong person picks that up.
Yeah, or you could also just fill out the paperwork and take the test.
Actually do it the right way. But at the same time, I'm like, if they're gonna pay us, we do like capitalism quite a bit. Money's money.
I'm all for it. If that's what it costs, $5 million. I mean, do you get to keep the $5 million, or does that just go to us?
I have no idea.
See,
it gets paid to the government. I know that much.
All right. Well, then, I that seems sus. That seems like one of those online Arabian Prince scams.
I feel like it probably would be, and if America's doing it to the online Arabian princes, it's about time.
It just seems sus. That's all I'm saying.
I know, and that's the funny part. But that's the thing. It's just out there.
I mean, hang on, Cam, you're all about shady stuff, so you would know. Does this sound legit or not?
So yeah, I think that's probably bogus. I mean, it's to me, it's like, I know that here in Cambodia, I think you can do it, but it is about that much money. It's about $5 million here in Cambodia.
In Cambodian money or in American money?
No, in American money.
Ooh,
but
that's
Cambodia. The other thing about Cambodia is Cambodia uses U.S. dollars.
Oh,
we don't. They have their own currency too, but for the most part, everything is USD here.
Apparently, it's a little bit more complicated, but I mean it's on CNN, it's on PBS, it's all over the news networks right now, and it's a proposal that he put in.
I imagine you probably have to go through a fucking
Yeah,
absolute
yeah.
Oh,
I'm,
hell
I'm
yeah.
sure
circus
there's
of
like,
shit
yeah,
to be able to an
background
absolute
checks,
circus.
applications. You know,
For sure.
it seems. Yeah, I don't think it's just like, hey, here's X amount of dollars. Cool, I'm in. I don't think it works that way.
I think it should be like $5 million to apply. We do your backgrounds and all that, and if you
That's
don't make it
probably
through,
what it
we
is.
keep it and you get rejected.
I don't think you either way. I don't think you're getting the money back. I think
Yeah.
you're just doing what you got to do.
And I'm okay with that part.
No, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Janot
like-
just popped in and said he's absolutely correct. It's Hanuman, the monkey god.
And
Oh.
This
then,
guy, that's one of the reasons why I love fucking Janot, man.
Nice.
He's well educated.
is he similar to the Monkey King, with staff in Chinese lore?
Yeah. That's,
probably.
Son Goku, I think.
well,
was something like that. I
Janot
don't
would
know.
probably know better than me, but I believe so. It is a Chinese. I believe it's a Chinese god. So and what? The monkey god. It is Cambodian, yeah. Adele's yelling at me, telling me that it's a monkey god from Cambodia only.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so he's different than the.
Yeah, it's not
What,
the monkey.
wait, tell me, say that again, Adele. What was it? So apparently, the monkey god is the one that tries to seduce princesses in Cambodian lore, according to Adele.
Well, it's different in the other one. He's more kung fu in China.
Janot says lots of countries have buy-in for citizenship, not bogus. I just wonder what the process looks like. I mean, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm the wrong person to ask these questions, but yeah, I mean, anyway, monkey god. Apparently, it seduces princesses or something in Cambodia.
Are you trying to do the same?
What?
I'm asking
Oh,
him.
Oh,
Is he trying to be like the monkey god?
I mean, honestly, that'd be kind of a cool DJ name,
Right? Monkey
Monkey
god.
god.
It'd be wrong to use
Man,
here in the States, but out there, I think you're fine.
I think if you're gonna be a DJ, go big.
Right?
I mean, if I was monkey god, I can tell you 100% that I can't play in Alabama.
Wow.
Whoa, you went there.
Wow.
Of course you did.
Come on, man.
Hey, I didn't say
one
anything. You
one
guys
time.
made your own assumptions on that.
We
time.
didn't have to. It's out there. We know you. We know what this is. The cast knows you by now.
Right.
If you don't know me by now.
That's right. Access to buttons this time.
Oh,
Lane's gonna love reviewing this.
Oh, he's gonna hate me so much. It's gonna be great. I can't wait for the arguments. Nah, but what's funny is like I talked to Lane about this whole cast and talked to him about all these things. I did a lot of research just to make sure at least I had some idea of what the fuck is going on, so I don't sound like a complete idiot. But I was hoping that he was going to be on here because he's probably the most educated person for this kind of thing. You know?
He is a lot smarter than the three of us. That's for sure.
Yeah, combined, bro. Combined.
Yeah.
Like,
But hey, we got Janot. He can help us out.
That's right. And he's a little bit more chattery today. It looks like.
He's feeling it. He's raising the bar for us.
That's right. He's getting comfortable with our shenanigans.
dude, he's selling like right now. I think he's selling cellos. Like he's got. So Janot also restores cellos and stuff, and he's selling like $20,000 cellos or something. And he's got like all kinds of them, man. I've seen him restore. Also double boss. He's full on, man. It's really interesting to watch his career, like since I've known him, how he's like, because he's always been an absolutely fantastic cellist, but watching like Editions Violone come along and then watching him restore instruments and then sell them and this stuff, like I didn't even know he had that many instruments, and especially ones that are, I mean, I knew all of his, like he has one cello that I swear is worth more than anybody's life. Like if you were going to put a hit on somebody, you would just give them that cello and they'd be like, okay, done, we'll kill him. I don't care who it is.
I mean, that's if they play cello and if they know what they got. Otherwise, they're like, nah, we good.
Cello is like stand-up bass, right?
Yeah.
Right.
No, stand-up bass is stand-up bass. Cello is you sit down with it. It's like
it's a big one you hug.
Is
and
it's like
stand.
a giant violin.
the one that Yo-Yo Ma plays.
Yes.
Ah,
exactly.
I got you. Okay.
And he plays it very terribly compared to Jeannot.
See, and I have a buddy that plays double
Jeannot
bass.
is a
So.
far better cellist. Jeannot is a far better cellist than fucking Yo-Yo Ma, man. And he's gonna probably give me shit in the chat. But but true, it's serious. But yeah, what cello is that, Jeannot? The one that's like worth more than my life could ever be?
Is it a Stradivarius?
I don't know. I know it's from like the 1500s.
Oh, well, then it's probably a Stradivarius.
You think so?
That's
Well, it's not like he made every instrument that ever happened in the 1500s, man.
Yeah.
But,
The good ones.
but it's got to be. I don't even know how much that thing's worth. It's ridiculous, and it's the sound of the thing. You know the difference between like. So I've seen plenty of cellists live in my life, but the sound of that specific cello, it's hard to explain the complexity of the sound from that one as opposed to another one. You know what I mean? Like you can buy a Yamaha cello or whatever, and it's gonna sound great, but it's not gonna have like what Jeannot's main cello has. It's just fucking so rich and like deep and I don't know. It's like you can feel the history coming off of it. It's like the sounds coming out of it are teaching you about life. I don't know how to explain that. That's a very shitty way to try to explain that.
What do you do with a gas-powered cello?
I was waiting for it. I knew you were gonna say something.
What?
Very rich.
Does it come with like a belt sprocket system too? Or does KTM also make a cello and I just didn't notice? Like, what's going on here?
Oh man, what do you do with a gas-powered cello? Sir, I only like solar-powered cellos.
Oh, you're one of them.
You're one of them.
Yeah, vegans.
That's what Greta Thunberg plays. Greta Thunberg only plays solar cellos.
Solar-powered
Cellos. That's even more waste, though. It's all about the old school hand power. You sit there, you're turning the gears, and you're like, "That's right. I'm playing my own instrument all the time."
So you're an OG. You know, you didn't convert to the automatic. You don't.
No. Those things are kind of weird.
I got you. That's fair.
Yeah, you get stuck. Something starts making a sound, and you're afraid of grinding.
You want the two-stroke cello, not the hand cello. I got you. I got you. It is...
master of the hand stroke skin flute.
I'm glad you came out with your name finally. Good job.
Wow. The difference between a violin and a fiddle is a fiddle player.
That's not responsible for anything Roman says. This is also true.
No.
Jeannot, we've realized that by now. We've realized that Bowman is his own thing, and we try to not take responsibility for that either.
No, but seriously, he does have some of the best like cellos that I've ever seen.
Oh, no Strads there. No,
No
he does not
Strads.
have Stradivarius.
Unfortunately.
No, but what is that cello? You know, the one that you have had forever.
I got like 6.
When was it made or something? Because it sounds absolutely wonderful. I don't know.
It's a Mercedes.
And I know why he said he's not responsible because he doesn't want Yo-Yo Ma to come and assassinate him.
I think he'd go for you before him.
I'm into it, bro.
Yeah, just so you can get the information. Where is he?
Is it just like Jeannot and Yo-Yo Ma, like in the crossroads, or just having a cello off? Is that?
Yeah, for real, dude. Like dude, if I could see Jeannot and Yo-Yo Ma have a cello battle, I would die happy. I'm serious. I would die happy if I could see that. It would be amazing.
I don't know if he would want to have a cello battle.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind.
I bet Yo-Yo Ma probably wouldn't if he met Jeannot.
That sounds like the challenge is the gauntlet's been thrown. Someone needs to call Yo-Yo Ma. I think this is gonna happen.
I'll find him. I know I can find his agent. Game on.
We are filming the Crossroads 2 cellos battle.
Jeannot, it looks like you're now responsible for what he said.
Is this one of those gentlemanly duels? Like, do we have to pick a second celloist in case Yo-Yo Ma doesn't show up? Is that?
We'll put Cam out there.
Like,
I'll do it.
Is he gonna have a second that just vouches for him?
No, we'll just put Kevin up on the skin flute.
They're gonna have to watch. I have a shy. It's all by myself. We'll put a camera in there for you.
Chanel says Yo-Yo and Bella are awesome. All right, so then see,
He knows.
I
He's
think
good.
Yo-Yo and Bella can be, your two opponents in the crossroads battle. So you'd be fine.
Dude, I will literally, if I can pull that together, I will have that happen in Phnom Penh in a fucking 10,000 seat arena. I can do that.
Better sell out then.
Oh, it will.
It's gonna require some money then for sure.
Yeah, it's only going to cost like $100,000 or something.
I would be willing to bet you could sell tickets to this. 100%.
Oh
I-
yeah.
100%. This would be fantastic.
Nobody does anything like that. It's like a rap battle, but with cellists.
Yeah,
instead.
why not?
Like, how cool would that be?
Oh, it's an Italian cello from 1766.
1766. Okay.
That is damn.
Yeah.
You restored that too by yourself? I'm guessing.
I think that one's always been intact.
And
No.
he just
hasn't. How can you? Do you mind putting in the chat what cellos do you have right now? 'Cause I'm interested.
it's gonna take him a minute to type that out and hear you.
Yeah, that's fine. But the point is, like, I do actually. I never thought about it, but that is a very, very good idea to do like a rap battle, but instead with cellists.
You know, you're in trouble. You're definitely gotta deal with his words. Face palm.
That might as well him just being like, "Oh, brother." Wow.
Oh god. Oh,
Wow.
okay. Interesting.
He's entertaining.
He's
as
an angry
usual.
Janot now.
That's
He's an angry Janot now.
Yep.
You don't want to see him angry. you think Lane's angry? Oh boy. All Janot does, if you have the camera on me, dude, when he gets really angry, I've seen him do it. It's really fucking interesting. All he does is he does this,
He pulls down the glasses and looks at you.
and then he talks really softly.
You know what? I have
And
seen
very direct.
the two cellos guys play. They play pretty good.
Yeah, don't they do
That's
like the
that's a pretty
covers for
good group.
Metallica and all
Yeah,
that?
they blend classical with modern songs.
Electrical cellos.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad group.
Yeah.
They do some good work.
You're
Christian-
gonna need a second
Christian
from
got
me.
seen.
I'm out.
Yeah, you're gonna need a second. He don't want to own up to whatever you got going on with your shenanigans.
He's keeping his distance from you. So that's-
He's like, this is the last time you'll hear me on this podcast. Bye. Oh, that's a banjo player. Bella Fleck is a classical banjo player.
so is Steve Martin.
Yeah, didn't know that. Yeah,
Yes, Steve Martin and Billy Conley plays banjo as well.
I can believe that.
He's actually very good. He does like Scottish folk songs. It's pretty good.
I'll have to look him up and see those.
Yeah.
I'm guessing he's on YouTube somewhere with it, right?
Yes, 100%.
100%. Probably everywhere.
Still, Billy Conley, only guy to ever die in a Muppets movie. That's- I think
Still not living that down.
That's important, I think.
All right, I'm in the clear. Janot wrote me on Facebook. He's not pissed at me. I was really worried. I was
Look,
like, oh man, I don't want that to happen.
we have no proof of that, so you could just be
That is
saying that to
true.
try to save
This is
yourself.
also true. I just trying to clear myself. I do really think a cellist like a rap battle cellist thing would be really cool. Like that could actually sell major tickets. That's a good idea. Maybe Janot should run
Well,
with
because
that.
they have dueling pianos, but everyone's seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Come on.
Only a few people have seen the dueling cellos.
Sometimes drummers go at it, for like rock bands. They'll
Yeah.
do like a drum off. I want a cello.
You ever see the one with Will Ferrell doing playing with what's his name
Chad
from-
Smith?
Chad Smith.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't know Will Ferrell's actually a pretty good drummer.
It turns out.
Listen,
Yeah.
he won with that cowbell. Come on, cowbell.
Well, cowbell.
Did you ever see about the fucking Christopher Walken said that that Will Ferrell ruined his life with that skit because now he can't go anywhere in his life without people being like, "Hey, more cowbell." You know?
Hey, do the cowbell thing. Do it.
Like,
Did you
I can
guys
imagine
See,
being
I
Christopher
enjoy.
Walken, just,
I
like, walking
enjoyed
around.
Christopher Walken's on Seven Psychopaths.
Yes.
Oh, so good.
Yes. That was good.
I think probably his best, like one of my favorite roles though, is when he's in Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, I was
and
about to
talking
say
Oh yeah,
about having
Pulp
the watch
Fiction.
in
Yeah.
Fiction.
but he's got the watch in his ass and everything. It's like it's so good, dude. Like, I mean, that's one of the better ones. I mean, Christopher Walken's been in fucking I think I've ever seen anything that he's done that I don't like.
The
Also,
one,
there's that whole thing with the Fat Boy Slim where he's like
yeah,
doing the dancing.
he did
Like,
the
that was so
dancing. Now
cool.
here's what's funny. Okay, he does that song, which I think is "Weapons of Mass Destruction."
Yeah.
Okay, and the song is, "If you walk without rhythm, you won't attract the worm." And then Christopher Walken ends up playing the Emperor in Dune Part 2.
I haven't seen the second part yet.
I haven't seen it.
So he completed the cycle by predicting that he would be in a Dune movie doing a Fat Boy Slim song 25 years ago.
Oh, that's funny. And they went with it. They saw it. They're like, "Yep, perfect, Emperor."
Did you watch the 50th episode or the 50th anniversary episode of Saturday Night Live?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I watched some of it. There's some really seriously interesting and funny stuff, and also there's some musical stuff. So there's the whole point when Robin comes out and does "Dancing on My Own" with David Barron.
Mhm.
That was like, that almost made me cry, dude. Like, that was amazing. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever heard that song before, but it's like I've kind of the reason why I ended up becoming a Lane could tell you this, and Jano could as well. Part of the reason why I ended up becoming an event producer and a musician and DJ and all that stuff was because I really couldn't find. I always felt out of place everywhere. So I would go to like nightclubs with Holdren and my old buddy Sean, who passed away, Sean Takahashi. Good on him. I used to go to the clubs with them, go to Club Nero, and I just always found myself like so awkward. And they would like Holdren would go, and like all the girls would be talking to him and Sean and talking to everybody that went with me. But me, I was just, for whatever reason, it just felt like I was out of phase with everything.
Hmm.
And that was why I decided to take over Club Nero and become the person that runs the club instead, because then people would want to talk to me.
Hmm.
So I did that successfully within a week after making that decision, because Lane wrote the contract for me, or the proposal for me. Sorry, not contract, proposal. And then after that, then it was like I got in phase with everything.
Hmm.
And then so that song, "Dancing on My Own," if you listen to the song, it's a beautiful song, very wonderful arrangement. And having David Barron come out and because I'm a huge Talking Heads fan. I mean, like I've Talking Heads are the weirdest band ever. So
Fair.
seeing that on SNL 50, I didn't expect that to happen. I was really surprised. It was such a great, like, it was just the coolest moment, man. And then there's like, obviously there's all the other stuff, like the Shane Gillis stuff. Like, Shane Gillis is one of the funniest people ever. What did you guys think? What were your favorite parts?
Yeah, I'll tell you the one that surprised me the most was seeing Bill Murray show up.
You see Bill Murray? Bill Murray was on Joe Rogan yesterday or whatever.
Oh, was he? I haven't
dude,
I haven't seen that yet.
I've
It's
kind of been out of loop on a
amazing.
lot of things because I've been working a lot.
No, that's fair.
Every time somebody gets in trouble, I'm the one staying over, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And like, I don't just do that work. I'm doing work in the garage, trying to make new leather projects and all that.
Yeah, you need a 36-hour day.
I do. And I need a whole lot of juice.
Don't worry, man. We're pushing it through Congress. One of these days, we're going to be there.
Maybe one day.
36-hour days would be fine. Be great.
I don't know if I'd enjoy that though.
Well, I mean, if Trump can change the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, he can also change how time works, right?
Yeah.
Maybe. It sounds like a superpower.
Why
Days
not?
are now 36 hours. Nobody thought it was possible, but we can do it.
I managed to squeeze in
We changed the physics. Elon and I, we went together. And made it happen.
12 extra hours.
New Tesla clocks are going to pop out. 36-hour time clock. It's fine.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So what are your favorite underparts like about SNL 50? Like, because I was pretty impressed. I'm not really a big SNL guy.
Yeah, I like parts of SNL, but it's always been kind of like I'm not like a diehard fan. Like I like watching the old episodes from the '90s when it was good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Well, I mean, the '70s was really good.
yeah, the
Like,
original
yeah,
that
Chevy
movie
Chase and all them. Bill Murray, of course, as well.
that movie's coming out. The Saturday Night Live
It looks cool, man.
it looks like a good movie.
It looks. What's interesting is it almost looks like they filmed it like a horror movie, which I really like. That it's so it seems so tense, like the way that they've shot. Like if you look at the trailer anyway, they shot it so tense that it's like it feels like a horror movie, and I like that. Like that's something I really liked about There Will Be Blood, was it's not a horror movie, but fucking hell does it not feel like one while you're watching it.
Fair.
Every moment you're just waiting for something, like you're just like, ugh, it's just like tense. You're just on the edge of your seat, like not knowing what's going to happen with Daniel Plainview. That's what it seems like they're doing with that. And if they do it that way, that might be one of the best movies of this next year, man. Like that would be crazy. Or I guess it's coming out this year, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's in a couple months. It's supposed to come out. But,
yeah, I'm very much looking. Lorne Michaels is a fucking terrifying human being.
Well, apparently he used to be.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
So the thing about Lorne Michaels, right? Like if you pay attention to Saturday Night Live through the years, the generation difference between like each of the casts, like every 10 years or so, all seem to have like a different perspective of who Lorne Michaels is. But in the beginning, you feared him. Like he was a scary dude. And a lot of the old timer guys, when they show up now and they see like people are super buddy with him and like they're just casually talking to him and they're like, we would never have talked to Lorne Michaels like that 20 years ago. Like it blows their minds how much like he's changed his ruling of Saturday Night Live. Apparently in his book, he sold his rights like 10, 15 years ago. He doesn't actually own it. Like he's just kind of there to help at this point. Like he doesn't actually have really any say.
And that's probably why he's loosened up a bit then.
I think that's part of it. I think part of it's not being the owner of it anymore. It's kind of just going to this, like, I'm just really here to be the executive producer and hang out. Like, I'm just here. Like, I'll direct you guys, but I'm kind of retired.
Fair enough.
Chanel would like to know, what kind of leather work do you do, Kevin?
So far, I've been working on, we got a couple of like coasters. I've made a couple of wallets, and I'm revamping one that I'm wanting to work out. I don't know if it will, because I'm not getting what I want out of it right. So I'm working on that, and then I'm working on making cigar cases, the little 4-stick cigar holders, like the one I have.
Cool.
And I want to put our logo on it, so I have to stamp the logo, then press and everything else. But that's what I'm working on right now.
And then in 6 months, you're doing the horse armor thing, right?
Yeah.
Horse armor.
I'm making my grandma's purse first, though.
No, that's, you gotta do the
I love her more.
Purses.
And,
He's doing purses too?
I'm trying to for her, because I'm like, I want to make something for my grandma. Love her. She enjoys me making things for her. So I go with that.
I'm sure he'll do special orders for you, Josephus, if you want.
Don't worry, I'll lead line it too. It'll be safe from nuclear episode.
Wow. Did Bowman go get more beer?
I have no idea. I don't have the pre-screen, so I can't look.
Oh, fair. I think
If I had the pre-screen, we could have done that.
Some beer.
Probably. It's either that or he just went quiet again.
Yeah, that's fine. It's just me and you.
Right.
Me, you in the chat.
Let's mute him.
That'd be hilarious.
I mean, the chat's been lively. I mean, I don't know if I want to make that plug though. It's a little hey. Little risque there. I might have to put a light on it too, so you flick it on to find it.
Let's see here.
I have not checked out your show yet. I saw the trailer that you sent me. I'm planning on hopping on it here soon.
Yeah, I watched the trailer. I just didn't get to watch the episode.
Did the episode come out? It must have, if he's asking.
What show? What show is it?
Josephus is creating his own show, and There's a short, and I think he just put out the actual episode. But he talks
Oh.
about cigars in there, but it's like old school, real, kind of like how would you explain that? You saw that.
Oh, he's got 2 out now. I'm sorry, I'm behind. I will
So
get.
is it a comedy show or like what's the deal with it?
I mean, it's Josephus. Of course, it's funny.
Oh, it's funny. It's like clip shows, like small little clips of videos. Then he pieces them together. Some are black and white, and I think most of it's black and white, right?
Oh,
What would you call that again?
Christian, throw
Silent
shade.
film style. That's what it is.
Throwing shade. That's just mean.
No, that's hey man, leather butt plugs could sell, bro. That's for sure.
You know, I could go over there and try and sell.
It'd be hard to get the smell out of them, though. I think you'd have to do it real good, like lacquering on.
Gotta seal that really well.
Wow.
He would know though.
If anybody would know, it would be Christian.
No, I was talking about you.
This is that insert intermission from Strange Brew moment.
That's right.
But yeah, so these 2 episodes. So okay, so can you, Josephus? Can you? I think you can drop a link in the chat.
He
I'll
should
go
be
check
able
it
to
out.
if he copies it from his page and then just
I'll
like
share it with
links
a
it.
bunch of my friends and stuff. Also, Josephus, if you ever find yourself in Cambodia, I'll book you for a comedy show.
See, even Janot knows grandma comes first, always.
That's true.
Otherwise, you don't get fed. She makes the best food.
Okay, so considering the context of the butt plug thing, that is a
Wow.
very interesting comment to make.
Wow.
Grandma comes first.
I was just reading. I'm trying to get off the
They're
subject,
2
and yet
totally
you're going
different
back.
conversations, man.
Like, what's wrong with you?
This is what happens when you get up and go get beer. You don't know what happened.
That's right.
Yeah.
Some jacked off beer
the one
thing.
who made the
Yes,
butt plug
yes, you
comment.
are. You actually are the
You
only
were the
one
one
to
that
actually
read
say
it.
it.
And
Yeah.
said it out
Well,
loud.
I read it. Yeah, that's different than me making it.
I didn't even read it and say it out loud. I said we made some references on how that could happen, but
See, now I gotta fucking go in there.
That's right.
Letterfacebuckplugs.com. No, but I really wanna
Cameron's
check
gonna
out
be the
this
first buyer.
Yeah, sponsored by DJ Monkey God.
DJ Monkey God, yeah. For real, dude. Monkey God Buckplugs.com.
Christian, I can't wait for you to get out here. I think it's gonna be a good time. You get in mid Sunday, so you'll pop right up then, and then podcast. I'll try and get up here early.
Yeah, me too. I'll be
That's
here
gonna be
early.
fun. I can't wait because it's been like I'm really happy to have to actually see him on the cast. Then I know Janot is planning on eventually coming up and being on the cast as well, and I am working on Holdren coming to be on the cast.
Oh yeah, you found the Chad?
I found the Chad.
Wow.
I found the Chad, and he's gonna.
Was he in the bottom of a bottle of bourbon somewhere?
It's
No,
probably
no,
not a
man,
good bourbon, but yeah.
He's pretty good these days. But yeah, so I reached out to him. We're gonna figure out getting Holdren on the cast because we need to hear all of his side of all the stories, dude. There's so many Holdren stories. Oh my god. And he has a lot of stories about Lane and myself and probably you guys too. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how well you knew Casey. You knew Holdren pretty well, right?
I mean, the 2 or 3 times I've met Chad, he's been crying about some relationship, usually to Tony at 3 o'clock in the morning.
I've never met him.
Yes.
I think I'm blessed.
I think one time I saw him at Rojo's crying to Tony about some girl, and then he was at Tony's house one time also crying, I think about the same girl. So really, I've only really met him while he's crying.
That was Serena, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That was I was living with Tony at the time, I think.
Christian put out an informational tidbit in the chat if you want to read it to yourself. He would know that statistic apparently somehow, right? Like, did his research.
Whoever's watching, read the chat. I'm not saying it, but read the chat.
I'm so glad you've learned to just say read the chat now instead of reading it out loud.
Well, no, some of them I want to do because it's funny, but that one is like, I'm like, nope, you can read that one yourselves. Really, leave it up to the
Joseph also
imagination.
decided to send something out for you.
It's getting crazy in there.
That's right. I'm gonna stay away from that chat right now.
The chat's a wild west. Let me tell you right now.
Yeah, every
I mean,
every
that's good,
second of
you know?
every day we get into this chat is going crazy. Yeah, and
That's
there's
what we
only
want,
like 3 people in the chat.
Sorry again. Josephus? Where do you live? I forgot. Or, like,
Carolinas.
I would have said
Carolina.
Alabama, but sure.
No, I think it's
I think he said
South
it, yeah.
Carolina, I believe, if I remember
Really?
correctly.
All right. Well, if he's from South Carolina, then he probably can't afford to fly to Cambodia. So I guess I'll never be able to book him.
North.
Oh, well, then he probably can't afford to come
North,
here.
North
So I'll book
Carolina.
him.
Well, see, I apologize. I remembered it was Carolinas. But
It was the Carolinas. You just weren't sure which. He seems like a South Carolina kind of guy.
I don't know what that means, but
I just figured South, Southern.
I just know one of those has good barbecue.
I don't know
That's
which
South
one.
Carolina.
Okay, yeah.
That's-
See, there we go.
that's
One
South
of them has
Carolina.
good barbecue. One of them has good golf.
You
That's
chose wrong.
North Carolina is the good golf.
Does
Okay,
he
so-
golf? I don't even remember.
Well,
Probably.
I mean, he probably does stick balls in holes.
He lives in North Carolina, so he
does
must
stick
golf.
balls in holes. Oh my god. I
Wow.
wonder what it would look like if we had Lane. Put
I
a
was
butt
about to
plug
say,
on a
don't
fucking
finish
tee
that.
And hit it. What if Lane put a butt plug on the golf tee?
I
wonder
can't
what
wait
it
for
would
him
look
to
like.
hear this and just message
Yeah.
you like that's never gonna happen.
He's gonna be so pissed at me, but that's all right. I love him. But I still want to see that happen. Lane with a fucking driver, just like smash a butt plug
You
all the
ting.
way across the fucking.
It'd probably wreck his driver. He'd probably have to use a crappy old one.
Oh man, they could make golf club or golf ball butt plugs. That'd be a good. That'd be good. Anyway, okay,
He
enough
is
about
stuck
that.
on this subject.
I know. It's just,
Well, it keeps coming up in the chat.
it's
What do you
just-
want?
it doesn't keep.
He's just plugging away with it.
Good one, Kevin.
He's
that was good. I gotta give you that one. That
Josephus.
was-
For the record,
that was good.
Josephus is a ping pong player. Okay, so
Oh,
No.
okay. Like, are we talking like Thailand ping pong, or are we talking about like what kind of ping pong are we
professional
talking about here?
American ping pong. We're
Yeah.
champions.
Like Forrest Gump.
Yeah, Forrest Gump, our greatest,
yeah.
our greatest Olympic champion in ping pong.
Like Bruce Lee with the nunchucks. Did you see that video?
That's amazing. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Is it real?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually real.
That is real. That is him
Yeah.
playing pong with nunchucks. He also lights a match and does a couple other things.
I want to say that there's a video of Jet Li also doing it to prove
Jet
that
Li's
it could be done.
bad fucking ass, man. That guy was. He's one of the most underappreciated martial arts actors ever. Like Jet Li is fantastic, especially that. What was that? What was the name of it? It had Bob Hoskins in it.
Unleashed.
Unleashed. Yeah, that was a good fucking movie, man. Jet Li was badass, man.
He's done a couple things. He was also
Well, have
in
you- have
Green Hornet, the original one, if I remember right.
No, that's Bruce Lee.
No, that's Bruce Lee.
Yeah, Bruce Lee.
Wait, did we change off of Bruce Lee now?
We were
Yeah, we're talking about
Jet Li.
Oh, Jet Li. Yeah, Unleashed.
Jet
is good,
Li
yeah.
recreated the ping pong nunchuck thing.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
There's a good video of Michael J. White talking about like all of the
Jai White.
modern day martial arts that we have, and when he talks about Jet Li, he talks about how Jet Li is one of the most knowledgeable practicing martial artists of our time.
Have you guys ever seen the movie Black Dynamite?
Yes.
Yes.
That has got to be the absolute best fucking movie. Like, it's as far as comedy meets martial arts, it's so funny. Like, it's so good. I use that term all the time that he uses in the film, where he's like, "This is also true."
They have Bruce Lee tobacco. I've never heard of it.
I didn't know that.
Dolomite. So Dolomite's another one. That's
Dolomite was good.
Yeah.
That's an actual blaxploitation film from the 70s. Fantastic film.
Universal Soldier 2.
Oh yeah.
That's
We
a
just named
horrible
it.
fucking
Yeah.
film.
What? That movie's hilarious. What are you talking
You
about?
don't watch it for the action. You
Yeah.
watch it for the comedy.
You watch it for legitimately the 5 lines that Goldberg could muster up to say while he's in it, and it's hilarious. Most of them are just, I hate that guy.
I mean, the first one was actually really fucking good. Universal Soldier 1.
Yeah, the first one is a classic.
Yeah, that was impressive. I mean,
Yeah.
so when you think about, we were talking about your trilogy thing. That was so now we can talk about movies. I like this. This is fun. But yeah, so so you have this theory about the whole the Patrick Swayze. So what's your theory about Mel Gibson as far as that?
Well, I think you could argue that Mel Gibson's character from We Were Soldiers is Murtaugh, or is Riggs.
Enlighten us.
Well, because remember in We Were Soldiers, he played that. Was he a colonel?
I think so. Yeah.
He's with Sam Elliott's character, right? They train all those guys to go to Vietnam, right? And then when you see him in Lethal Weapon, he talks about all the work he did in Vietnam. He kind of plays a badass in both those. So I feel like you could argue that they're the same guy.
And he just changed his name.
Yes, and then you get the Gringo, where he's just fallen off the wagon and is no longer a police officer.
Get the Gringo. Oh wow. Okay,
weren't they planning on making another Lethal Weapon?
They are making one.
Number 5.
They are making Lethal Weapon 5. Yes.
Well, he's finally figured out how to walk his way through the fucking anti-Semitic being canceled thing. It seems like.
Well, I mean, he's making Lethal Weapon 5 as a promise to the original director.
Oh, nice.
Because
really,
yeah, because it's Reiner, right?
Yeah, Rob Reiner.
Yeah, Rob Reiner. So Rob Reiner wrote 95% of the script and had it ready to go, and like on his last few days of being alive, he basically talked to Mel Gibson and was like, "Hey, I'm not going to be able to finish this, but you got to promise me that you will." So
he's directing it himself?
He is taking up the mantle of directing Lethal Weapon 5. So as far as I know, they're working on pre-production right now.
Oh, nice.
And we will see Riggs and Murtaugh one last time.
When do you think it might come out?
Hopefully next year.
2026 probably. But I mean that's the good part about that is Mel Gibson is a fucking fantastic director. He is very good.
Yeah.
And seeing him, because I mean, A Lethal Weapon is close to all of our hearts, I would imagine. I used to watch that with my dad when I was a kid. I'd sneak out of my room and come down when he was doing his paperwork at like around midnight, and he'd just tell me, "Don't tell your mom, but go." He had this like, my dad had this drawer of VHSs that we had the God, I sound old. We had the machine, we had the machine that
we had them on Betamax. We had to take out the Betamax player. We had Laserdisc too.
Them Laserdiscs were crazy. They were new.
I'll talk about Betamax later. But the point is, like, so we had the machine that had the 2 VHS that one could record, and he taught me how to tape over the thing.
Oh yeah, you tape over the little knob so you can record over once. Yeah.
Yeah. And
so back
my
in
dad
the day,
would rent videos, and he taught me how to do that. And so we had this entire massive drawer that was filled with essentially, realistically,
pirated movies.
Yeah, it was Aliens, Lethal Weapon 2, Die Hard 2.
I feel like it was easier back then.
Yeah, it was so
it
good.
Was.
Dude.
You just went to Blockbuster.
That's right.
My dad would actually tell me that like he'd be like, "Okay, tonight you got to sneak out of your room because he'd look at TV Guide and he'd be like, at this time there's going to be this movie on, and I need like Bloodsport, for instance."
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
If you get caught, you're in trouble on your own. I said nothing.
He was like, go in and when you do it, put the tape on, go in, sit down there, don't tell your mother, and hit record, and then when the commercials start, hit stop, and then hit start again. And he had me like recording all the videos for him. And no, it was super fun. And so my dad and I, we bonded over Lethal Weapon, man. Lethal Weapon was like, I remember when he took me to see Lethal Weapon 3 at the Wallace Theaters at the Y,
Yeah.
which I later, I mean, I later became the West Coast director of technical services for Wallace Theaters, which is crazy to think. You know what I mean? Like when I was a kid, I was in that theater, and we watched Lethal Weapon 3, which was actually, it was fucking really good. I mean, Lethal Weapon is one of the better, like, as far as, like, you know, like, what do you call that? It's like it's not even a trilogy. Like, what is it, Casey? It's like
it's a series.
The multiverse.
It's a series.
It's a series.
Yeah. So I mean, it's fantastic. I mean, what I wish, the only thing that when I think about it, and I think about Lethal Weapon, I think about all this stuff, I wish that they would just actually make it a full-on, like, instead of doing a movie, make it a full-on, like, 23 episode season.
They tried to make it a TV show.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yes.
It didn't work out all that well.
Yeah, it lasted 2 seasons.
Who was playing in it?
One of the Wayans brothers is Murtaugh, and they got that.
Well, you've already failed at that.
The one.
That's the first mistake.
Clayton something is the actor's name who tried to play Riggs. His portrayal of Riggs was really good until he got fired, and then they had to replace him. So they tried to do the Aunt Viv thing, and it just didn't work. So
I mean, what I mean though is what I'm saying is like it would have to be the original cast.
Oh yeah, no,
but
100%.
Because I mean, Riggs and Murtaugh, like the whole like you can feel the chemistry between Mel Gibson and Danny Glover. You can feel that. Like it's almost like palpable. Like you can feel it in the air. Like they obviously worked really well together. And one of my favorite parts about that whole movie is the first one is they did such a great portrayal of like making this character Riggs that's just he's basically fucking insane. Like he just doesn't he wants to die. Like the whole point of his life is he's on a death mission.
Yeah.
And they do that really, really well. Like when he puts his gun to his head when he's like you know, looking at Murtaugh, and Murtaugh's just like, and Murtaugh's like a family guy and all that stuff. And I remember that one of the best scenes, dude, I think it was Lethal Weapon 2, when he gets that guy with the fucking nail gun in the place where he's fucking, I mean, it's a visceral film. It really, you know, that whole like thing is just amazing. So if they're making Lethal Weapon 5, man, that's fucking awesome.
Yes.
That's amazing.
There is 5. There is hope. And Josephus jokingly said Loaded Weapon, but they are also making Loaded Weapon again.
Loaded Weapon was fucking awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. Also, he said Double Impact. Double Impact was another one that my dad used to watch with me all the time.
Do you know who's taking over the role for Leslie Nielsen?
No.
Liam Neeson.
Oh, it might be really good then.
Yes,
for sure.
Liam Neeson will take on the role for Loaded Weapon.
What?
You didn't know this?
It's just gonna be taken
is
for
the craziest casting choice ever.
That is going to happen. It's coming out soon.
When's it come out?
I think it also comes out next year.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm down to watch that.
What about the Naked Gun, dude? Like, the Naked Gun was my. Was that the one where she's like, surely you're not serious, and he's like, of course I'm serious.
No, that's Airplane.
I want to see Blazing Saddles too.
That's Airplane. Yeah. Okay. No, the is it Naked Gun's the one where they had Scotty from Star Trek playing the sergeant making the coffee machine work. Yes.
Yeah.
It's the only part of that one I remember.
my favorite fucking one with Leslie Nielsen. My favorite was Dracula Dead and Loving It. That was so good. You guys ever watch that one?
Yep.
It's been a while.
Where he comes out of the coffin and hits his head on the fucking banister. Yeah. So funny, dude. I feel like if you guys, I don't know if you guys have ever watched What We Do in the Shadows.
No.
But
that's that it's a TV show, right?
Yeah, dude, it's so good. Like What We Do in the Shadows is one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life, dude. It's in its final season right now.
I think it's on TBS.
It's on something. I don't know.
Yeah.
We just download it like everybody else does.
Pirates. Arg.
But yeah, I mean, Dracula Dead and Loving It, dude. That shit was so funny. Like, Leslie Nielsen was a comedic genius, dude. Like, I mean, all those guys are. I mean, it's great. I'm so happy that we still have Bill Murray. You know, like he's still like kicking. He's doing. He's got 3 movies coming out right now.
Does he?
Oh, I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
3. Yeah, he's got 3 movies coming out right now. It's like
Is
Riff
that-
Raff, The Friend, and then he's got one he's doing with Wes Anderson called The French. So it's like an espionage movie with Wes Anderson.
Okay.
Like the French Connection?
No. It's like it's you guys have seen Wes Anderson movies, right? Like the Royal Tenenbaums and all
No,
that stuff.
yeah.
So it's Wes Anderson style.
Okay.
So it's like it's like a comedy espionage movie
Might be pretty good.
with oh, it'll be fucking. I imagine that'll be fantastic. I mean, anything. I've never seen anything with Bill Murray that I didn't like.
Fair.
I
Bill
mean-
Murray does great work.
I also didn't know that he like Lane will love to watch the Joe Rogan episode with him on it that just came out, because he talks about. I didn't even realize he actually is an avid golfer, and that's how he kind of ended up. Like I guess he was a caddy or something in his teens.
Oh yeah,
and
he
so-
hosts his own golf tournament.
Yeah. So Lane will definitely want to watch that whole episode. It's really interesting. Bill Murray is. I didn't realize how close he was with Hunter Thompson, because obviously he played Hunter Thompson in Where the Buffalo Roam.
Yep.
And I didn't realize that Hunter Thompson was living in his in the guest house on Bill Murray's property that whole time. And they used to get up. And when they first met, apparently apparently when they first met, he met him in like Colorado somewhere, and didn't even know who he was, and neither of them knew who each other was. And they were just cracking jokes, and he just thought this guy was a really funny guy, and it was really cool. And then Hunter Thompson asked him if he thinks he could escape from a chair if he got tied in it and thrown in the pool. And Bill Murray said yes. So Hunter Thompson tied him to a fucking chair and threw him in the pool. Hunter Thompson, dude, is like Hunter S. Thompson is like if there is a god beyond the monkey god, of course, Hanuman, the monkey god, our sponsor for this episode. If there is a god, it's Hunter Thompson, man. Like that guy, like holy fuck, dude, like that guy had balls of steel, man. And I remember it's crazy because a lot of people were really, I mean, especially I remember, you guys might remember Troy. I don't know if you do or not, but Troy, the guy who ran karaoke at Lakeside.
I didn't know.
He was fucking, dude, he was a professional sound guy who ran karaoke at Lakeside. And when I say karaoke at Lakeside, when we were there, it wasn't like karaoke, dude. It was like, there was like 300 people in there. It was more like a fucking competition. It was like the best singers. Like, it was crazy. Like, the sound was so good. You're singing in front of like 300 people, and they're like, people are waiting for people start coming just to see you, and like they came to see Holdren, and of course JD. God knows what happened to him. I hope that did you guys know JD?
I know JD.
No, I don't think I do. I might have met him once, but I don't
You
know.
probably met him in here a couple times.
Probably.
Yeah, he was in the cigar shop quite a bit. But yeah, he disappeared in Arizona. Nobody knows what happened there. But anyway, that was that was like the golden age, man. Troy like doing that whole thing with karaoke and all that. Anyway, I digress. That was good times up there, man. Lakeside's gone now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a empty lot now.
Did they already demolish everything?
Yeah, it's demolished. Yeah, they're supposed to be building a urgent care. Like
I
Barton
thought
Center
Barton
there.
went out of that. They decided to get away from that.
Well, they still got the Barton signs up and stuff.
Okay.
I haven't seen it for sale, so I'm pretty sure it's still there's a funding permit thing they got to wait for.
Oh,
So
probably.
yeah, so
They could have just
Man,
built
how
condos.
sad, how crazy and sad is it that Lakeside is gone, for one, and that two, it's gone from being a place of beautiful debauchery to a fucking hospital. Assholes.
well, it's just an empty lot right now. So
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it remains empty until they build another fucking casino. It's Nevada, for fuck's sake. Build a casino, assholes. We don't need more fucking hospitals.
I don't know,
Especially Barton. Barton is famously bad. Barton is famous. It's like one of the worst hospitals. Dude, trust me, I have been to some of the worst hospitals in the world. Barton is still the worst.
No, you're not wrong.
Dude, they sewed a guy's foot on wrong. I remember that.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Allegedly sewed the foot on wrong.
That guy said he had 2 left feet when they walked in, so I think they were just.
Wait, did Lane go to Barton?
No, he was.
No.
It was a clinic at his work.
Yeah.
At his work.
Yeah.
Up at North Star?
Yeah.
Somewhere?
Yeah.
Oh, they looked like they did a pretty good job of stitching that thing up.
Yeah, they did real good.
Yeah.
They even gave him a tetanus. I didn't think clinics just had that on hand.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's what I told Lane when he told me about it. He was like, the tetanus shot's making me fucking like all fucked up, and I was like, well, at least you won't have lockjaw. And he was like, good point.
That is fair.
That's right. You know what? This is a good public service announcement.
I imagine
you
half
should
the
all get
people I know wish
updated
I
on
had
your
lockjaw.
tetanus.
Make sure they're good for about 10 years.
Yeah, go get a booster if you haven't gotten one in a while.
I'm about
This
15
episode
years
is
out.
Brought to you by. Yeah, this episode is brought to you by Bill Gates. Get your shots.
I got mine on the table right now, but I don't count it as a shot. I count it as a nightcap.
Oh, what a. Let's see here. Josephus has been infusing flavor into his cigars. Oh, interesting. What kind of flavors there, bud?
Are they burning hot now, or what's going on? Usually when you infuse flavor, it starts to burn pretty hot and get kind of burnt. You get that burnt oil taste.
Tried the pipe tobacco method today. Waited until I could taste the Festivus and the pipe tobacco. Figured I should be able to taste the pipe tobacco. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, they do.
That's
pipe
pretty
tobacco
smart.
cigars,
Yeah,
right?
that's pretty smart, actually.
Yeah.
Get like a golden Cavendish cigar, basically.
So Josephus, real quick, do you do like live comedy sets and stuff like that, or do you tour, or what's your story?
He has like
comedy?
2 different channels, and I know one of the channels had comedy on it a little bit, and his other channel is the old school film style.
Oh yeah, I can. So Christian just asked if I can explain. Yeah. So what happened with Lane was Lane got into a fight with a zip tie. So.
All right, let me explain it because you're gonna confuse the shit out of him again. So what happened was Lane was at work cutting zip ties. It caught on the zip tie and curved, and he was cutting away from himself, and it went this way into his finger. And he stopped and thought, shit, and he looked down and he's like, oh, now he can talk with his finger. So he covered it right away and then went to the clinic, got it stitched up, got his tetanus, and then went back to work the next day like nothing happened except for he was a little under the weather, and then came here. But yes, he slipped, and that was just after sharpening his knife too, the night before. So it's sharp. We know
sharp. Hey, it's sharp. That's all that matters. And it's not really your knife until it draws blood.
that is true.
So yeah, so Josephus, by the way, so you do open mics. Have you ever thought about just creating your own open mic and hosting it? Have you thought about go on Kill Tony?
He just goes to his backyard, sets up a stage using
Really, what we're getting at here, Josephus, is if you need an agent,
we got somebody who might be willing to make it work, make it happen.
The Cambodian cameraman would like to be your agent.
No, I'm just interested. Like, if Josephus ends up on Kill Tony, then
you want tickets.
Our podcast will be famous.
Maybe we'll see. He'd have to bring it up.
Cam just wants tickets. That's what's going on here.
That's right. He wants tickets.
Fuck yeah, bro! If Josephus is end up like the problem with Kill Tony though is he'd have to get pulled out of the bucket, so we wouldn't know. But afterward, yeah. You should think about it, man. You would be great on Kill Tony. I hope you go there and do it. That would be fantastic, man. Kill Tony is by far my favorite podcast that exists. Like it is
entertaining. I've watched it a few times.
It's not a podcast, I guess. It's like but it's so good. And what's my favorite part about it is basically Tony Hinchcliffe makes some jokes, gets literally canceled. His agent fires him, can't get a gig anywhere, can't do anything. Takes the bottom room at the Comedy Store, starts off with this idea. There's like 15 people in the audience. You can see the first video. You can watch it. And now he's selling out Madison Square Garden and shit. Like, I mean, it's just it's such an awesome story of just fuck you. I do what I do. I will build something regardless of if you hate me or not. I love it.
It's just one of those, like you got to let comedy be comedy.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It has to happen naturally.
Fucking Janotis wrote, Lane sent me pics. His stitches were almost as good as Holdren. Yeah, I think the only difference was that Lane didn't cry.
No, he basically nicked himself, said shit, and then went to the next office over and told her, she's like, is everything okay? He's like, yeah, I'm just gonna. She's like, is it? Do you need a Band-Aid? He's like, no, I'm gonna go down to the clinic. And he was calm like that. And then everybody saw it and they're like, why were you so calm? You didn't yell or anything.
Yeah,
that's what actually. So what's funny is that's what everybody said about me when I was when I dislocated my shoulder at the show, because I was just standing. I just kept standing there, and unless somebody yanked on it or something, then if somebody yanked on it, then I would make noise. But I remember my buddy Alex telling me, he was like, dude, he was like, what the fuck? Like, you're a tough motherfucker. And I'm like, not really. This just feels fucking weird.
I like Christian's comment.
Did you do your wacky inflatable arm guy routine when you?
Wacky waving inflatable arm. I mean, I might as well have, dude. It was pretty fucking ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, it was funny. I mean, what was interesting to me was it taught me a lot about I didn't actually realize how many people around me legitimately care about me, as far as like everybody jumped into action, man. Like the whole place, like because I know all these people, they've been coming to my open mic for 2 years, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and more popular, and like everybody from the tourists to fucking people I know, they were all just like, all they wanted to do was just help me. And that's a really nice feeling. It's like sometimes I think for a lot of people in life, I think a lot of people, it can feel lonely, like, and even though people are around you and you think they care about you, you don't really know until a moment like that. And then when a moment like that happens, you realize, wow, a lot of people actually do care about me. It was kind of beautiful in the end, like, I mean, it sucked. It hurt a lot. It was fucking awful, and it cost me $300, but other than that, it was like wow, like that's a community moment. Also, I'd like to mention on the
get
podcast,
off the cross, we need the wood.
I'm not understanding Josephus' comment.
Well, if he has an injury, he rips some bud 420 style and then uses super glue as a liquid stitch.
I do that already. I don't even have to hit the bud.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what super glue was created for, actually.
Originally, yes. It was used for purposes.
By the Nazis, wasn't it? Wasn't it created by the Nazis?
I don't remember that part. I do remember that it was created as a field medical use is why it was created.
Let me look that up. But I mean, because it also
I do think it's a World War II creation.
Right around that
time. It is a World War II creation. I just can't remember which side created it. But yeah, it was definitely created because it actually sterilizes while it does it. And it's so it's fantastic.
You just got to remember when you're super gluing it by yourself, you need to keep like part of the wound at one of the ends open so it has a chance to drain.
Yeah. No, yeah, absolutely. And dude, yeah, that's definitely very, very true.
This is not.
And also, you have to remember if you're super.
Advice.
If you're
no, this is years of experience of nicking myself and going, oh, it's not that bad. There's just a little bone you can see. We'll just super glue it.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened to me when I fucking got in that motorcycle accident. I was like, it doesn't matter. It'll be all right.
I was trying to get my son to do that.
Oh.
I'm like, come on, just a little bit of super glue on the eyebrow. It'll be fine.
Never mind. Green whistle is something else.
Just remember, you don't want your fingers to get stuck on your own wound.
Exactly. That would.
Then
hurt.
you're like, fuck.
You have to rip it off and go, oh, there's another one. Super glue that again.
I didn't like the way that glue looked. I'm gonna do it again.
I've seen a couple different ways where people say like you should put it in the wound and glue it together that way. I always just go over the top. The top is enough, and like if I don't have it, I wrap electrical tape. Like if I cut my finger or something, I wrap electrical tape around it. Perfect Band-Aid. It sticks to itself.
I mean,
No issues.
Dude,
firm pressure.
when I had this,
that's all you need.
Yeah.
when I had this injury, like it probably can't be seen on the camera, but
I don't know. I just see a thumb.
yeah. So right on the thumb. So
If you had your light, we would be able to see it. But
this is also true.
Somebody didn't want to grab it, you know. I mean, maybe next
Yeah.
podcast they'll remember. Probably
Production
not.
quality.
Lazy motherfucker.
This
Listen,
guy.
that's Cambodian production.
yeah.
Yeah,
The-
the Cambodian side of
The
production.
international production not quite up to snuff with the domestic production.
We have a couple of hiccups here and there. That they're like, it's not a hiccup. It's fine.
Yeah, so I was like, I was working on my Jeep, my Jeep Wrangler was actually a Jeep YJ.
Is that the one
They
that
were only
always had
made-
issues?
Yeah, it was 1987. It was my brother's Strider who passed away. He sold it to me years ago, like a long time ago. But I was the way that the YJ worked is there was the license plate covered the gas tank, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was all fucked up. So I was hacksawing it off to try to fix the problem. And my girlfriend at the time, Angela, was sitting there talking to me and distracting me, and I ended up skipping off the bolt, and I just hacksawed right through to the bone on my thumb. And I didn't even realize I did it
Until blood was everywhere. You're like,
No, I didn't even notice at all. And then it was her. Her face went like, oh. And I was like, what? And I looked down and I was like, oh, I almost cut my fucking thumb off. Okay. I could see the bone and everything. And then I was like, shit.
I think the one that irritated me
Alright.
the most is like I've gone shooting enough. Like we go out and shoot every once in a while. Now I was shooting my rifle, and I got scope eye for the first time. And like I wasn't expecting it. And I'm sitting there and like it hit me and I got irritated, and then I'm sitting there shooting, and then all of a sudden everything turned red, and then I couldn't see. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I checked my face. I'm like, oh, that's what's going on. That's stupid.
Yeah.
And then I super glued it and
Dude.
said, nope, we're good.
Was that with your?
I mean, That's what I,
seven?
what I did.
Yeah, that was with the 7 because I
Nice.
had it set a weird way, and like it kicked back and just knocked me right there. And I'm like, oh.
The kick on the 7's no joke. So
No,
that's
like-
probably a substantial hit.
I told you about my dad shooting it. He thought the 7 mil
already.
was like a bitch round because he's like 9 mil doesn't kick that hard, and then he shot it and he's like, and he had no ear protection in, so he's like, so shoulder and ears were gone for him for
Oh.
that day.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but yeah, that's fucking. So I ended up like after I almost cut my whole thumb off with a hacksaw by accident
You didn't
without
need it.
noticing it. I took and I didn't have super glue. This was the first thing I was looking for, and I'm like spewing blood everywhere. My girlfriend's like throwing up. And I'm like, whatever, it's all right. So I just get a fucking paper towel, pull it up, and then I just duct tape that fucker. I just had a duct tape cast on, basically, for fucking, and I just let it be, dude, until I was like, okay, I think
That's
maybe
all
I
you
can
gotta
cut it
do.
off. Yeah, I got a good little scar with it, you know. I
Yeah.
love scars. Scars
Okay.
are a beautiful thing.
I've done the same thing with the newer style hand saws for wood, and it slipped and it just grazed my knuckle like straight across, and I just
Yeah.
looked at it and go, oh, it's one of those days.
Yep, so that's just one of them days.
Off the shin. Ooh,
Ooh.
ooh, that probably stung.
Yeah, man, I ground off like, dude. There was a time. So one of the funniest stories about this is Jeannot would know this if he's still in the chat. So I was playing a show in San Luis Obispo, right? I was just playing guitar, and Corey, who is quite famous on the podcast, was our roommate, right? And him and this kid Monty, that was one of our friends, after the show, wanted to go up on the train tracks. There's like a bridge that as the train tracks goes over, and they wanted to go up because they're fucking ghetto as fuck. And you know, it's like Corey used to be homeless, and so we're up there and we're drinking fucking old English 40s together, the two of us. Like that's right, 3 of us. And fucking, I don't know how this began, realistically, but for whatever reason, Monty, because I was training with like Chuck and all those guys at the time, and I was like training every day and like fighting and taking fights and whatever. And for whatever reason, Corey and Monty, they were like, "Do you think you could beat both of us in a fight?"
At the same time?
And yeah. And I was like, "Yeah, I think I can." And so they were like, "Okay." And so they just attacked me on this train fucking bridge,
Do
right?
you believe that with your fucked up shoulders?
Yeah, old noodle arms over there. You thought that was a good idea?
Yeah, dude. So what ended up happening is I end up knocking out Monty. I end up knocking out Monty immediately. Monty goes down, like first punch. Corey hits me a couple of times. I hit Corey back. Turns out Corey is not a very easy person to knock out. So I'm just punching the shit out of Corey. He's punching the shit out of me. And I end up over towards the edge of the train track. And he hits me. And I hit him at the same time. And he like wobbles backwards and I wobble backwards. And I fall off the fucking train bridge completely. And I flip over and I land on, luckily for me, my knee braced the impact. So my patella, as I found out later, I didn't know that at the time, I fractured my patella and almost completely split it in half. So I fell about 10 feet and I landed on pure concrete with my knee. And then...
Was the ground okay?
The ground was all right, yeah, luckily. Not much blood, too. So,
oh, hey, that's good.
So I go walk. Afterward, I just get back up and start walking. I leave both of them there. And then by the time, because I'm walking slow because my knee's all fucked up, by the time I get back to the house, like almost to my house, not quite to my house, it was Lane used to live in the apartment that was close to it, and it was like the same apartment complex, but I'd rented another place. And all of a sudden, I get punched in the back of the head, and I turn around, and it's Monty and Corey. And so I just knock out Monty again, just out cold immediately. And then I just beat the fuck out of Corey, dude. And him and I were just like, yeah. And then he just gave up. And I got him into like a rear naked choke position. And I was like, fucking stop, And then he was like, and I just like put him to sleep. And then I just left him there on the street. And then I went into my apartment.
Didn't even to check to see if he was breathing.
Nope.
Just
left him there. Just left him there in the middle of the street. One guy knocked out, the other guy choked out.
You just left him there?
Yep. And so I go into my apartment and I wake up the next day and I look at my knee and I'm like, oh shit. So I go to the hospital and they do an x-ray and they're like, your patella is literally split in half and only the top and bottom parts. This is new. I like this on the podcast. Only the top and bottom parts of the bone were holding it together. And they were like, I don't even like what happened. And I was like, nothing happened. Blah, 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 blah. And they're like wanted to turn me into the police and shit. And then I saw Corey like the next day and he was like, and what the fuck happened? I don't even remember. Like I have a black eye and shit, and Monty's all fucked up. And I'm like, yeah, they gave me a cane. I had to walk with a fucking cane because I could barely even walk.
47 Mexicans came out of nowhere.
47 Mexicans came out of nowhere. Dude, Corey fucked me up good though, dude. Like Corey was like, fuck, he's a good fighter, man. He was beating the fuck out of me, man. I was really surprised for a guy that literally. Dude, I love this. This is new, Red Band. Are you our Red Band now?
We used to have this, and then like we moved things around, and then it couldn't work, and then now that we're here, we could probably do the same thing,
right?
But we'll go back to 3 cameras, I guess.
Well, we got about 8 minutes left, yeah, before the camera dies.
Josephus sent a comment, and he says, "I was nearly decapitated by a broken toilet seat once. I call it the third circumcision."
Wow.
I laughed so hard at that to myself.
Oh God.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Well, I mean, yeah, it was funny, man. But yeah, Corey beat the fuck out of me, dude. I was in pain for fucking weeks, dude. That guy is tough as fuck. Like he's Monty, not so much. I pretty much knocked him out with one punch both times. But Corey was like, fucking boy, that guy can scrap. You should see what his face looks like, bro. He's just like fucking scars all over. Corey's a bad motherfucker, So we were all so hammered though. I don't even know how that ended up beginning. You know what I mean? Like it was just like we were drinking Old English because that's what he liked, and we were
Well,
on the fucking train bridge.
The first mistake there was you were drinking Old English.
Yeah, that's definitely the first mistake.
I would not disagree with that statement.
Yeah, after that, it's just downhill. Like,
Yeah, I mean, Janot was around for a lot of these stories. Maybe not that one, but he's definitely been around to see enough. There was a time later, by the way. This is funny. This is a funny story that happened later when Corey and I think I might have said it before, but I don't remember. But the Corey and Monty went. It was Halloween, and they stole a coffin. And they stole a coffin and they brought it to the front porch. And at the time, I was with my girlfriend Agatka, and we have I think somebody has a picture of it still, of her laying in the coffin on Halloween. But they stole it from, I don't even know where they got it, but they stole a fucking coffin on Halloween, dude. It was a real coffin too.
Wow.
It wasn't like a joke coffin. It was real. I
Picking
don't know
up
how
some
the hell they did
graves,
that.
you know, picking up some bodies, you know.
it's just
As you do
I
on
mean,
Halloween.
Where does whatever happens on Halloween is a different level.
Yeah, man. So I told Elaine that I've got an address now, so I guess you guys can send me the pack with like.
Oh, we
big
can
ass
send you
stuff.
that religious material.
Yes.
Yes, you can send me the leather butt plugs and that you're going to hand make for me, Kevin.
Yeah, there's a definite chance that people are going to take those for sure.
Kevin's business is about to blow up.
But yeah, so I mean, we're at about 2 hours now. What do you guys think? You want to call it, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. We're right there. I think the camera's there. We still have to do a review, so we gotta figure that out.
Yeah, we got to figure that one out. We could just sit in the chairs.
Yeah, that's true.
Just flip one camera over, call it
Yeah.
good.
We'll
Do a little
play with it. We'll see what we
sensual
got.
time.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's been a pleasure, guys. And hopefully next week Lane will be back on the cast. Thanks to Christian and
we'll see.
Josephus and
We'll have
William
Christian
and
too.
Yeah,
Janot,
Christian will
Yeah,
be
we'll
here.
have Christian. We'll have
Exciting.
Lane back. It'll be fun. A full party.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
That's right.
that's
We'll
gonna
have
be good
to
stuff.
figure that out. Make sure we have everything.
Yeah, we'll go through it today.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah, man. Well,
Cam,
well, much
thanks
love, guys.
thanks for joining.
Even though
always.
you made some inappropriate comments about plugs and butts and stuff.
Well, I mean, that's only because you're offended because you like them.
Listen,
I don't-
my Tuesday nights
I
are
don't-
my
I
Tuesday
don't think
nights. You
that's-
leave me
I
alone.
don't think that's how it works. But,
My Tuesday nights. are my
Lane's
Tuesday
dad,
nights.
don't watch this. Bye.
Wow.
My dad's also watching. I think.
He's fine. He had you. It's fine.
Like, I feel like everyone already just knows that you're you, so that's fine. You know.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Talia, don't watch this.
Yeah.
One of my coworkers was asking about this. So I sent her the link, and I'm like, I shouldn't have.
Maybe this wasn't a good idea.
It was
But you
not
can
a
always-
good idea.
You can always blame everything on me anyway. I live in Cambodia.
I own up my own issues.
Yeah, we blame other things on you. It's fine.
That's right.
Well, hopefully, I think so. I'm producing this album, and the producer just started yesterday on the first track. So, hopefully, later this year, maybe early next year, I'll be touring through the U.S. So I'll be on the cast in person as well.
Oh, cool.
That's the plan. So we'll
We'll
see.
all
I'll
be
let
calling in
everybody
sick
know.
that day.
That's right. Christian, I do not have an answer for your question because I don't know who those are, and off the top of my head, I have to see them in pictures.
I don't know who they are either. I don't know.
Well, I think that's why he included first and last name, so you could Google that.
Apparently, I'll let you know. I'll text you.
I think I'd probably just rather bang a law. And with that, I'm out.
God, I hope so. Do you have that cut sound as I hit this button and get rid of him?
I don't.
I'll see you guys later, man. I'll see
All
you
right,
next
man.
week.
Later.
Bye.
Get rid of that. Go back to us.
Now,
Look at that.
let's see. What are we on? 2 hours now?
Yeah, roughly 154.
Well, as always, thank you everyone for joining. We appreciate the viewership. If you made it this far, you like what we're doing, do the YouTube stuff, like, comment, whatever. And we'll catch you guys next week.